It's 3:14 a.m. when the call comes through. You're 3 years out of the Secret Service, working private security for a pharmaceutical executive in Chicago. The job is quiet, predictable. You escort a man to board meetings and charity galas, watch him shake hands with people who smile too wide, and you go home. Nothing ever happens. That's the job. The phone buzzes twice before you answer. The voice on the other end doesn't introduce itself. It gives you a number, a wire amount, and a single instruction. Be at O'Hare by 5:30 a.m. The number is more than you made in 4 years of government service. You ask what the asset is. There's a pause long enough to mean something. You'll be briefed on arrival, the voice says. You hang up. You sit in the dark for a moment. Then you pack your bag. The jet is waiting at a private terminal. No commercial gates, no check-in desk. A man in a charcoal suit meets you on the tarmac and walks beside you without making eye contact. He hands you a single laminated card. On it is a photograph, a name, and a title. Dr. Yael Morgenstern, Chief Architect, Helix Initiative. You don't know what the Helix Initiative is, not yet. The man in the suit tells you she is the lead scientist behind a biological defense program that does not officially exist. He tells you she has been working for 11 years on a pathogen countermeasure system that 16 governments depend on, but none will acknowledge. He tells you there have been 3 attempts on her life in the past 8 months. He tells you the last man assigned to protect her quit after 2 weeks. He doesn't tell you why. You land in Geneva at dusk. Dr. Morgenstern is smaller than you expected. She doesn't look like someone world governments are quietly terrified of losing. She looks like someone who hasn't slept in 4 days, because she hasn't. She doesn't greet you warmly. She looks at you the way someone looks at a tool, assessing, clinical, already categorizing your limitations. You're ex-federal, she says, not a question. Yes. Good. The last one was ex-military. He kept wanting to run drills. I don't have time for drills. You get to work. The first week is orientation. You map her routine, identify choke points in her schedule, establish secure communication with the small team already in place. 2 local operators, 1 intelligence liaison, 1 driver. You tighten the perimeter. You change her hotel room 3 times in 4 days without telling her in advance, because predictability is how people die. She doesn't complain. She just brings her laptop wherever you take her and keeps working. You start to understand why she's valuable, not from reading files, but from watching her work. She talks to herself when she solves problems. She draws equations on hotel notepads and leaves them on the floor. She gets one idea every few days that makes 3 people in other countries stop whatever they're doing and answer immediately. You don't understand the science, but you understand importance, and she is saturated with it. The first real threat comes in week 3. You're leaving a private research facility outside Zurich when your driver slows and taps the steering wheel twice, the signal. Car behind you has been with you for 6 blocks. You don't accelerate. You don't react. You tell Dr. Morgenstern to keep her eyes on her screen and lean slightly left. She does, without asking why. You redirect to an alternate route. The car follows. You call it in. 2 minutes later, you have eyes on the vehicle from satellite feed via your liaison. Stolen plates. 2 occupants. Professional spacing. You make a decision. You don't run. Running tells them you're afraid, and afraid people make mistakes. You pull into the pre-designated safe structure on Rue de Lyon, cut the engine, and move her to a lower level within 90 seconds. The car passes the entrance, loops once, and disappears. She asks you what just happened when it's over. You tell her someone was watching. And now, she asks. Now they know we saw them, you say. That changes their timeline. She looks at you differently after that. Not with warmth, with something closer to respect, which in her language might be the same thing. By month 2, you know her habits better than she does. You know she needs exactly 1 cup of coffee before she can answer complex questions. You know she's left-handed, but writes equations with her right because an old lab injury never fully healed. You know she's afraid, not of dying, but of not finishing. The work is everything to her. Her life is a vehicle for the work, and you are a vehicle for her life. You understand your position precisely. The intelligence briefings get heavier. A foreign state actor has been systematically eliminating assets connected to the Helix program. 3 researchers are dead. 2 have disappeared. The network is being targeted from the outside, which means there is someone on the inside providing coordinates. You report your suspicion about the liaison to the oversight team. You have no proof, only a pattern. The way he avoids certain topics, the way his eyes move when her schedule changes. Small things, but small things are your entire profession. They pull him within 48 hours. You never find out what they discover. You're not supposed to. You accept this. You start sleeping 4 hours at a time. The months accumulate. You move across 8 countries. You survive 2 more direct threat scenarios. One involving a compromised hotel, one involving a man who got within 30 feet of her at a conference before you removed him quietly enough that the journalists in the room never looked up. You grow a reputation in a world that doesn't use names, just descriptions. The man who never reacts, the one who moves before it happens. Dr. Morgenstern finishes the first viable phase of her framework in month 7. You're standing outside the lab when she walks out at 2 a.m. and tells you. She doesn't celebrate. She looks hollowed out, the way people look after carrying something enormous for too long and finally setting it down. Is it done? You ask. The first part, she says. There are 4 more. You nod. You already knew the answer before you asked.
In month 9, they offer you a promotion. You'd move to the oversight level, coordinating protection for the entire Helix network, not just Morgenstern. Better pay, less exposure. You'd be behind the decisions instead of in front of them. You think about it for one night. In the morning, you decline. You tell them you stay with the asset. You don't explain why. The truth is complicated. The truth is that somewhere in the months of 4-hour sleep cycles and rerouted cars and watching a woman solve problems that protect millions of people who will never know her name, something shifted in you. You are not here for the money anymore. You're not sure what you're here for exactly, but you know it's this. They accept your decision without comment. That too tells you something. There is a night in month 11 when you sit in a corridor outside her lab at 1 a.m. and you think about the person you were in Chicago, the pharmaceutical executive, the charity galas, the quiet job where nothing happened. You try to remember if you were happier then. You can't. It isn't that this life is better. It is that it is real in a way that other things aren't. The stakes are real. The decisions are real. When you do something right, someone lives who might otherwise not have. When you fail to see something coming, the consequence doesn't just fall on you. That weight doesn't lift. You've stopped expecting it to. You've also stopped flinching when the phone rings at 3 a.m. The 12th month ends with a new threat profile, more sophisticated than the previous ones, better resourced. The oversight team uses words like state level and coordinated campaign in the briefing. They tell you the second phase of her work has drawn attention from actors who 6 months ago didn't know the program existed. She's too important now to be kept quiet. The world is starting to notice the shape of what she's building, even if it can't see it directly. That makes her more valuable and more exposed simultaneously. You adjust the protocols, you tighten the team, you change every pattern that can be changed. She asks you one evening if you think you can keep her safe through the second phase. You don't tell her yes. You don't make promises you can't verify. I'll do my job, you say. She accepts this. It is, you both understand, the most honest answer available. The next morning begins like all the others now. Alert, deliberate, measured. You check the exits. You run the route. You watch the room before she enters it. The work continues. So do you.